miserable. Just miserable. This island's nothing but a pile of rubble. What's the point trying to make a life here? Don't like it? I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that? Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone. We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim is still a dangerous place.
You haven't seen Cretius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Cretius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. Well, it's been a long time since someone from the guilds bothered to make their way out here. So tell me, how's my brother Delvin? Still spending his nights at the Ragged Flagon trying to win Vex's heart? Good to hear. Tam Layabout never even bothers to send his own flesh and blood a letter saying how he's doing. Can you imagine? Anyway, I suppose you're looking for work. Well, I got bad news. This place is drier than a damn bone. Eager to make some coin, eh? That's the spirit. I'll tell you what. The guild's got a problem out here that I've been trying to deal with for years, but haven't been able to handle. Don't look at me like that. I'm all alone out here, with no one to watch my back. And besides, it's really my problem anyway. I caused it. A fellow Breton who went by the name Esmond Tyne showed up on my doorstep about a fortnight ago. He noticed the shadow marks like you did, and I thought he was one of us. That he did, right out from under my nose. Can you believe it? It's my own formula for improved bone mold. Took me years to perfect. Well, I'll be. That's the one. What happened to Esmond? I told him not to head up there. Sounds like the bloody fool got what he deserved. Here, I want you to take this key. Head inside my house and unlock the door in the basement. Help yourself to whatever you like inside. I won't be using it anymore. Excellent. I think you'll be glad that you made this decision. Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use. A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armorsmith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cretius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. Return anytime. You're quite welcome here. Hello, friend. Stop back anytime.
What news do you bring from Fort Frostmoth? I had my suspicions that he was undead. How else could he have survived for over 200 years? It's a shame. There are quite a few tales of General Carius's exploits, including the founding of Raven Rock. Councillor Morvain told me to give this to you if you made it back in one piece, and you got rid of General Carius. Better than a soldier's pay, so you should be thankful. It can be. Even the most experienced warriors can fall prey to petty distractions. They usually didn't amount to much, but they make my job that much harder. Some of my own men have become quite accustomed to a spirit they called Emberbrand wine. Despise the stuff myself. It's powerful and tremendously addicting. I've seen men fail to finish even a single flask. If I knew where they were stashing the bottles, I'd put an end to it myself. You would? That would be helpful. I just don't have time to do it myself right now. They're too smart to have left it in the bulwark. I'd search one of the abandoned houses on the outskirts of town. All of the soldiers in this town are Redoran Guard. Some of the best warriors that House Redoran has to offer. I've spent quite a few years honing their skills, and I can assure you they're not just your average city guard. To protect Councillor Morvain, of course. He has quite a few friends on the council back in Morrowind, and they wanted to ensure his safety while he was here. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to discuss it. Ah, this is bone mold armor. Quite impressive, wouldn't you say? It's fashioned from actual bone that's been reinforced with a resin-like material and then shaped to form the armor plating. It might appear brittle, but I'd wager it could stop the blow of a weapon better than iron or steel. Find me that stash of wine. I'm itching to be rid of it.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Looking for any potions? Ingredients? Alchemical supplies? After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in Skyrim. We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit. It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal. When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled. It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help. As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades. Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark. That would be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort. Full with those netching, destroying the ash spawn has made it safer to work in the fields. Thank you. Goodness, it must have been quite difficult tracking those creatures down out there. Here, take these. They should help you during your journeys.
Your actions here have been a blessing to us all, Sergio. Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always
It's
have
busier now that things are starting to look up. I guess I might stay a bit longer after all. Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point, a kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. Well, well. Seems you're proving fairly useful for an outlander. Here's your coin. Keep bringing me more, and I'll keep paying you for them. The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Ah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock. And when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. The East Empire pendants stood all over, so leave no stone unturned.
Here in his shrine.
That they have forgotten.
I work for Mogrul. You got a problem? Mogrul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. You looking for trouble? Stay out of my...
If you're dealing with me, there's only one thing to remember. Pay your debts or end up hurt.
The best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service.
Welcome to the Wretching-Net's Corner Club, my lord. If you need
Follow
anything, Master Geldis will be happy to help you.
It gets lonely out here, you know. On this remote...
Miserable. Just miserable.
Always glad
And
to
I hate
help,
this place.
Cerelio.
With the Ashborn threat taken care of, I can give my men the rest they deserve. Well done, friend. Good. This will help me keep things running without having to worry about a bunch of soldiers falling asleep on duty. Here, take this for your trouble.
This island's nothing but a pile of rubble. What's the point trying to make a life here?
Welcome to the Wretching-Net's Corner Club, home of the finest Sujammer that will ever grace your lips. The finest Sujammer to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujammer.
Solstheim
In
is a
fact,
dangerous
I've
place.
just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujammer and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Odin
Meet
Veleth,
again,
Captain of the Redoran Guard at your
How
service.
about a drink for the hero who cleared Fort Frostmoth? There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujammer in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. Come back any time. My doors are always open.
Hello, friend. Find my pickaxe yet? Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. You tell Crush's
It's
he
busier
better
now
give
that things
that
are starting
pickaxe
to look
back
up.
to me, or
I guess I
else.
might stay a bit longer after all. Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over.
You look able to venture
need no
outside of
stone.
town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second. Your efforts in Raven Rock have proven most invigorating for my husband. I haven't seen him this pleased in many years. Admiral Arano, second counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here. I assure you, if I could convince Adril to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adril and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings. I'm the wife of a second councillor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Adril no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Adril and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. Oh, how kind. Thank Gelders for me, won't you? My husband is second councillor, so I
Always a
certainly have
pleasure
wish
to watch
reward
when a
him
man
for
like
being
you
my
walks
husband.
by. Well, tell Gelders that Miri says she really appreciates it. And don't stay away for too long.
Assisting the... My apologies for doubting you, Sergio. What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear. I appreciate the help you've been giving us.
Yes?
Oh, hello. You looking for a hand?
Your actions here have been a blessing to us all, Sergio. Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
I might lend coin to people that need it, but I never lend to strangers, so shove off. Take that swill and pour it down a well.
I work for Mokro. You got a problem, you talk to him.
I am his...
Teldrin Cerro, blade for hire. If you have the call.
I am
The best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service. For the right price. Then let's be off. If there's anything else I can do, just let me know.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
for master calls.
Modin Veleth, captain of the Redoran Guard, at your service.
You may have everyone fooled, but I see what you're doing here. The call of gold sends you scurrying like a rat. Get that vile liquid away from me. Non-believers are never welcome here.
To leave me be.
Gracious, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death. I'm not spending the rest of my days as a widow.
And I'm telling you that I'll do whatever it takes to find my great-grandfather's remains. He's down here. I can feel it.
That was almost 2 centuries
can I
ago.
do?
There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Cretius, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed. My apologies for Cretius's ravings. Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Graciano Cerelio. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know. My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does. But I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gracian in a rocky grave. To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Counselor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Maybe. Been difficult trusting people lately. They think I'm crazy. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine. Graciano Cerelio. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel, and he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago. The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall, but I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gracian to take a closer look.
I suggest
The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Finally, someone who believes me. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gracian, and what the East Empire Company's keeping from all of us. Gracian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. He's begging for patrons again, eh? Well, I suppose I could have just a bit.
Draugr again.
Look,
What else do you
I know
hide?
I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gracian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that. She thinks that old age has addled my mind, that I'm seeing things when there's nothing to be seen. I realize she cares about me, but she has to understand that I can't rest until I find out what happened to Gracian. Then I'll settle down peacefully and never set foot in this mine again. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, even before I discovered Gracian's old things. I just hope both of you don't mistake my enthusiasm for insanity. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skald in the first place. Oh, very well. Here. Tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. Be careful down there. Mine can be treacherous.
What can I do for you? Long story, but I don't see the harm in sharing it with you. My last patron was a true Nord. He was dressed in animal skins, had tattoos on his face. A real traditional type, if you know what I mean. He had an insatiable bloodlust and was extremely stubborn. One of the toughest employers I've ever had. Simple. He paid well. Very well. Anyway, we'd just cleared a ruined fort somewhere outside of Whiterun, and when we got outside, we saw one of them galloping away on horseback. Well, my boss wasn't about to let him get away, so we pursued. On foot. For 3 days. Until we ended up tracking him to one of the largest bandit encampments I'd ever seen. My patron took one look at me and made the most menacing grin I'd ever seen. At that moment, I knew I'd never see him again. No amount of money would ever be worth that kind of death.
Lead on!
Despite the foul beings that infest this place, I'm certain we'll find plenty of wealth to make it worth our time.
So, another seeker after knowledge enters my realm. I am Hermaeus Mora, Prince of Fate and Lord of Secrets. This is Apocrypha, where all knowledge is hoarded. Perhaps you will prove clever enough to uncover the secrets hidden here. If so, welcome. Perhaps you are a fool or a coward. If so, you are in peril. Read your book again and escape before Apocrypha claims you forever.
to die.
You're dead!
I never get tired of that sound.
What was that? Come on!
Shogorath's majesty.
Lost? You're back. Please, tell me what you found. Let me see that. Huh, I knew it. Gracian's death wasn't because of a rockfall. It was just a story to keep people away from the tombs. Now that I have his journal in hand, I can get some closure from the East Empire Company. Make them pay for lying to everyone. Thank you. Now, I believe I owe you a little more than a debt of gratitude for all that work you did. Here, it's not much, but it's the best an old retired miner can do. Those cowards left decades ago. Every single damned one of them. The moment the ebony mine dried up, they pulled up stakes. Ridiculous. Well, you know it as well as I do. Raven Rock Mine wasn't empty at all. It's still rich in ebony ore. I come from 3 generations of miners, and I couldn't get anyone to believe me. Well, we showed them, didn't we? Our home has stood in Raven Rock since the colony was founded. Gracian helped build it with his own 2 hands. After Gracian died, he left behind a wife and a son. My grandfather, Relicus. Relicus lived there for quite a long time, working in the other sections of the mine until he was slain by reavers. I never knew my father. My mother and I always lived alone. I asked her about him many times, but she seemed angry and refused to speak about him. So eventually, I let it go. When I was old enough, I began working in the mine, hoping to make my fortune and eventually move to the Imperial City. Unfortunately, yes. I only had enough coins saved to send one of us back to the Imperial City. So I sent my mother alone. I wanted her to see her homeland before she died. Until I met my darling Aphia, yes. I suppose you could have called me a bitter old hermit. Now I'm just old. Mark my words, Raven Rock isn't finished yet.
Allow me to apologize for Crucius's behavior. I'm afraid he hasn't been himself lately.
What's our next move?
Apologies.
I'm sorry to bother you. The second Councillor Rano asked me to come find you. He said it's quite urgent. All he wanted me to do is track you down and send you to him. Look, this is important. Even more important than wiping out the ash spawn. Please, go speak to the second Councillor as soon as possible.
You like my chitin armor? It was specially crafted for my Brindis for low. One of the finest master armor smiths in Morrowind.
My work for Your actions here have been a blessing to us.
him, Sergio.
Always
Next
a
time you're
pleasure.
It's busier now that things are
when
starting to look up.
walks by.
I guess I might stay a bit longer after all. I am. Here you go. If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
If you're dealing with me, there's only one thing.
Find my pickaxe yet? So, you finally tracked down old Cretius, eh? Quite a character, isn't he? Tell you what, since you went through all the trouble of finding it for me and all, you keep it. I just wanted to remind that codger you can't just go around taking things from other people. Now that you've delivered the message, I'm satisfied. Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any good in years. Maybe you can put it to good use. Stop back anytime.
If you find yourself in the ash wastes, keep it.
Thank you for coming. After everything you've already done for Ravenrock, I hate to ask for more, but I can't risk Councillor Morvain being killed. The Ulan family of House Lalu, a rival great house, has placed a death mark on the Councillor's head. It's a private matter. Let's just say they seek revenge for the execution of one of their own, ordered by Councillor Morvain himself. The problem is, I don't have any solid proof that anyone from House Lalu is hidden among us. Only my suspicions. It may be justified, but it certainly isn't appreciated. Councillor Morvain simply feels that I'm being paranoid. I'm afraid that one day I'll awaken and discover him dead. I don't want it to come to that. I do. I've received some information from my sources that there could be elements of Ulan's house, House Lalu, already in Ravenrock. Ravenrock is a small settlement, so it's hard to accomplish anything in secret. If any of them is from House Lalu, I wouldn't be able to make a move without them knowing. I had a feeling you'd be willing to listen to me. I need you to start out by being my eyes and ears. Search Ravenrock and see if you can root out these traitors. The best place to start would be Geldis Sadri, over at the Retching Netch Corner Club. If he provides you any leads, check them out before bringing them to my attention. Can't afford to make any mistakes. Don't worry. You can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time.